I remember going to a shop in South Africa. I think it's called Zara. Not trying to do any publicity for them. On my way out, I had to make a purchase, pay for the items I took by myself. Usually in Africa, you have to see a tailor, a person by the checkout spot where you give your card, you make a payment, whether it's cash or by card. They help you pack your stuff, they help you do the account before you leave. But this specific shop, clothing retail shop, that wasn't the case. They want you to choose your own things, pack your own things, and pay for your own things by yourself. What does that mean? No more humans. No more humans at the tail. No more humans selling. No more humans participating. So the least the humans in the company, the more the benefits for the company. Now, for certain people, that sounds very normal because you've been habituated to that. To us, it sounds very different because we are used to seeing some of our sisters have jobs. Some of those who never really got the chance to have university degrees and all that, diplomas and stuff, they can still work at the tail and make some money for themselves and their children. Now, seeing that go away to some of us, it's painful because what's next? Today it sounds maybe like nothing, but what about tomorrow? Now, we are living today, fellas, in an era that's brand new. China has invested a lot of money into robotics. These are military grade dogs in form of robot. We're talking about dog machines that are circulating the street. And these dogs apparently will be armed weapons. They will have the ability to have a special payload in order to execute things that many soldiers cannot execute in areas that are very difficult. Apparently, initially, the idea was to create a robot just to see what a robot can assist human beings in doing in the house. But very progressively, this has changed. Now they're using robots for weapons, robot for war, robot in army, robot in police. The United States did not stay behind. America's police in New York actually they do have a bunch of robots, including a dog robot, a few dog robots. Even though Parliament was not necessarily happy with it, but they pushed forward with the idea of having robots in the police force. Now, my question is this: will these robots be better than human beings in executing some of the most outrageous things in the world? Will these robots be better than humans in finishing other people's or not? Absolutely, because these robots will be equipped with AI capability. They will have the ability to learn very quickly and execute very fast and with no remorse, no feelings. Let's watch this. Why do you need four-legged robot? What's the purpose of this? This robot, this black robot, looks like a freaking demon. Why do you need this? Okay, so if you want the remote and you don't have a sibling to boss around and you don't feel like moving around, you can just send the robot to get the remote for you. How lazy are you people? You cannot get off your ass to get a remote? You need a robot to do it for yourself? Wow. Does that explain why people are getting so fat? Yeah, I just say fat. Yeah, because you need to feel bad. You should feel bad about yourself and be strong enough, like all the human beings used to be. Go to the gym, do some work, invest in yourself, be a human being, be strong, do some work for your health. So you're finding an alternative way to justify your laziness by sitting on a couch ordering a robot so the robot can go get a remote control on the other side of the couch for you. It's 2 meters away. That is shameful. Wow, the dogs can be weaponized. You see, it started as cute. You will notice one thing. When they come up with something new, they'll first bring the positive side to it. Oh, don't worry, you can get you a remote on the other side of the room. If you feel lazy to stand up, the robot will do it. Oh, don't worry, the robot can make you some tea and bring it to you right in your table without you needing to stand up from wherever you are while you're watching Netflix. Then very slowly it moves into another area. The robot can be equipped with machine gun. Now, what does that make me feel like? Wasn't that the initial idea when you first came up with the project? And very slowly you move to the actual idea, but you need to sell the project. Now, you can't sell a project saying, I'm going to create a robot that will carry a machine gun. You need to sell it to the public that the robot will help you have a glass of water. The robot will help you to have a remote brought to you, even though you're so fat you don't want to do some work. This is very similar to what we saw earlier when they say Elon Musk came up with a technology where they're going to put things in your brain to help paraplegic feel again, to help blind people see again, and mute, or however you call them, speak again. But the reality is that could deploy into being so much more than just paraplegic walking again. It could be the ability to read your other people's mind, the ability to command things from a distance, the ability to read a book in 3 seconds. So the final goal is always there, but they need to mask it into something positive to the people so that the people can accept it. Now, let me tell you something. When people say propaganda, you need to review the notes. Propaganda just means you need to look into it very much. Well, it could well be false information. However, it means always there's a possibility that whatever you're calling propaganda to be the truth. No, they will not have the speed and precision to shoot down somebody. Yeah. No, you can't believe that these robotic can outshoot seasoned troops. Well, very lately, I'm not sure, I don't know if you remember, uh, AI couldn't beat chess players. Okay, AI couldn't, but a few years ago, AI could beat every single human being in chess. You remember that? With the intelligence and the ability, the experience it's gotten from many games, now there's no human being that can beat AI on the chess board. Now you're telling us, oh no, they don't have the ability to beat seasoned fighters. It's not possible. What has the ability? What humanly thing has the ability to defeat AI? Nothing. Oh, the US Marine Corps bought many units of the Chinese stuff. Unbelievable. Oh, exactly. The reason why they bought it is so they can go and examine them, trying to understand them, do reverse technology, reverse engineering, so they can get the intelligence put behind this robot, so they can perhaps create some for themselves, but better versions. Why do you need a human robot? Please tell me why. Why? Like how many people with Maskina involved in this? I'm asking, why do you need this? Don't you guys watch movies? Don't you watch those sci-fi movies when these robots go crazy and they finish everybody? And we have detected the problem of the world. It's the human race. Don't you watch these movies? Why do you equip these things with so much tools? Then later you cannot switch it off. Why? I don't get it. Manufacturing, shipping, logistics, and warehouse. Why do you need all that? Humans can do the job. You don't want to pay the humans. You don't want that. You want to be, yeah, you want people to be slave. You want to be you want to be making maximum amount of return. That is selfishness of capitalism. Why don't you let people work? They're barely making a living with what you're paying them. You still want to take that away, but you still want consumers to buy from you. That is the selfishness of capitalism. Of course, impact the world by surveilling you and putting you into boxes. With human beings, as a policeman, you can even talk like, hey, my brother, I'm really sorry. I was late. I should have been home at 6 p.m. Please, sorry, allow me. You can do that with the human police. You remember during COVID, yeah, you could do that. When there was curfews, you could have a discussion. I'm really sorry, apology. They said most of the time, they'll say to you, okay, dude, go home. Please don't do this again. Can you negotiate with the robot? No, you cannot. So NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Jeff Bezos have invested about $765 million into AI appropriated for robot. $765 million. Do you think that is for free? What are we getting out of this? You need to ask yourself a question. This is just a move for them to push us into modern day slavery, a brand new system. Fellas, again, like he said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. If you want to go to hell, usually it's through good intentions. So, what are the purposes of this? I don't know. Don't you like the world the way it is? I don't know. Elon Musk coming with an idea of putting a chip into people's brain. He's already done it. There's a person that's recovering well, they say the other day, with a chip in the brain. And this chip in the brain allows him to move a cursor on a computer and a remote. Just keep in mind, fellas, that the news you get are far late from what's actually happening. Meaning, by the time they speak to you about a new technology, it's probably been there already for like 7 years in the past within military. So when you discover that somebody has a chip in the brain, they probably had people with chips in the brain 7 years ago. They're just showing you what they did 7 years ago, so they can stay ahead of the curve. That's how it is with technology. Same with the cell phone. We saw cell phone in the 1990s, but way before that, military and government already had cell phones. So what is the world turning into? Are we just going to accept this brand new technology, robot checking you on? There's some airport in Africa, where a robot scans your face. I don't know if you know this. I went to an airport in Africa where during COVID, the robot scans your face to see if you got disease. In the meantime, it scans your face, keeps it in a database. They have your face, they have your fingerprint, they have your name and everything. What do they need all this for? I'm one of those people that still likes natural life. Hearing cows. I'm talking about real cows, not genetically modified cows. Burr on the other side. Have a little dog. Have a couple of hens and chickens. I believe in that. I don't think the world should be automated in all ways. We don't necessarily need that. People have changed a lot. Human beings used to be good. We used to be friendly. We used to play with each other, playing soccer in the field, going to swim in a river. We don't get that anymore. Used to have a little garden at home, a little garden with freshly planted green. You could just go at the back of the side of the house and take those stuff and go cook. You can't do that anymore. I believe in some countries, including America, you don't even have the right to have a little garden of your own. Is that freedom for you? Is that what you call freedom? In the name of what? In the name of what? We're seeing now in Europe, they're trying very hard to push farmers out of business. They're trying to buy the land that belonged to farmers for thousands of years. So the grandfather used to be a farmer, worked very hard. He had cattle and cows and everything. Let it to his son led to his son gave to his son. And today government want to buy it. Why do they want to buy it? Because they want to push you into a direction, in a corner, where you're going to be dependent on the food. And I know some of you go, it's conspiracy. Well, okay. Maybe it sounds like conspiracy, whatever you call it. It also means you don't want to think. How can you, with a good brain, not think of all the possibilities and probabilities? I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying the direction this is taking us looks very much like, well, there must be some sort of intentions behind it. If no more farmers will have land and only corporate will have big land and control of the food, why can't you have your own little garden back home? Why? Since when you couldn't have your little hen? I mean, in many places in Africa, you can still do it. At least 90% of Africa. You can still have your little porch and hens and cows and whatever, goats and bear and all that in the morning. Now you have robots. Police is a robot. Why would you have a robot as a police? Robot has no feelings. Robot has no intention. It's only a programmed entity. Now, what if the robot has its own mind, create its own goals and objectives, assess their own issues in their own way, and finally decide, like one decided a few years ago, to say that humans are actually the problem of the world. Let's get it done with humans. Let's finish human beings. Let me know how you feel about this. Is this the progress you want to see? God bless.